What is going on today, guys? Welcome to what is going on today, guys? We are live. Welcome to another episode of Jukebox Trivia. This is I know it's marked April Anarchy 1, although technically it is the second part 2. It was filmed in March, but we got uploaded in April. So although it is April, technically it's April Anarchy 2. This is the first of the April matches. I have the creator commissioner at the Black Lantern Brooklyn Vale, and what's going to be a pretty interesting show today. I wanted to do this in between season 1 and season 2. This kind of this initially spawned off of the Top 10 Rapper show. If you watched that one, Chance Ellison and Caleb Coho disagreed about a lot of things, so I thought this would be a kind of a cool idea for them to kind of argue about stuff. Unfortunately, Chance could not make it. So we got the next best person to hop in for music debates. So we have Jessica the Straw Morgan taking his spot. But before we get to them, I want to introduce our judges today, who are going to be helping me decide our inevitable winner. And first, I want to go to a frequent guest on the show. You can find him on the Rewind, as well as running our IG neck of the woods. That is Caleb Mashed Potatoes. Caleb, how are we doing, man?
Doing good. Looking forward to this. Going to be interesting to say the least. Don't know. I'm going to do my best to be objective here, but it's going to be interesting. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Joining us as well today, he won the first part of the Jukebox Heads Up tournament, actually knocking out one of our competitors in a pretty admirable fashion. That is the Butcher, Luca Hope Fallon Madden. How are we doing, man?
Future champion. I'm surprised that I jumped in on this in the last minute. I'm surprised that you didn't have me on this before, considering it is now someone who I've challenged in IG and some little punk shit, and it was going to be my future opponent for the championship and some little punk shit. So I feel like I should have been here a lot longer than I was, but I'm looking forward to this. I'm going to try to be objective, and it's sort of made easier by the fact that I got beef with both of these guys. So fuck them, you know.
Well, that's awesome. That's awesome. But yeah, let's get into our introduce our competitors. Representing first from the northern state of Minnesota, that'd be the King, Caleb Coho. Caleb, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing good. It's been a bit of a long day, but I'm very excited to talk music and be the Mike Carlson of the show for once.
Now we've seen you on the Top 10 Carols show, the Top 10 Rappers. In the trivia aspect, unfortunately, you haven't had the best of luck. Where do you see your debate skills factor into this?
I can talk a lot and very well. I was in debate for 4 years in middle school and 5th grade, and we didn't have that.
You're in 5th grade now, Caleb.
What? No, I'm in high school. No, I'm in high school. Chill. I'm a debater at heart, and I love to just have healthy conversations on stuff. And music is something I don't get to talk about often, so I'm excited about this.
Healthy conversations.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, pretty well. His opponent today. She is the season 1 champion of Full Metal Trivia. She kicked my ass in IG, and you can find her pretty well everywhere there's good trivia. That is the Bishop Trial of Jessica Morgan. Jessica, how are we doing?
Oh, doing all right. Found out I was doing this about 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
How do you feel? Complete until the lack of preparation goes.
How do you feel going up against Caleb? I mean, I feel like you have an edge in terms of maybe experience in music knowledge. Do you feel like you'll be able to apply that in your debate strategy?
I feel like you saying the words experience and music knowledge is code word for old.
You are like a good bottle of scotch. You only get better with age. That's everybody.
You've said that twice now. Scotch does not age in bottles; it ages in barrels.
I know, but older scotch usually tastes better than new scotch. All right, guys. So let's get into the format of how things are going to work. These guys are going to get questions that have been, for the most part, predetermined. They know 4 of them, and the objective is it's going to be the first person to three questions. First person to 3 points. They will get a minute to open. and then they will have 4 minutes to kind of go back and forth and break down the other person's debate, attack and defend however they need to be, and then they'll have a minute to close. And then between myself, Luca, and Caleb, we'll determine who gave the better argument overall. And then the first person to 3 points will be the winner of the first ever dance-off Jukebox trivia. Caleb, since you were the original person, since you were the original person to be on the dance-off, I'll let you go first. But the first question that we have today, guys, for the dance-off, it's going to be a doozy. What is the rock single that is most improved by adding an accordion? You heard that right. What single is most improved by adding an accordion? Caleb Coho, you got 1 minute.
Okay.
Whatever you want.
Okay, so when I heard the rock single question, immediately one jumped to mind, and I thought about many, but only one stuck in my head. This song is edgy, this song is dark, this song is intense, and it is hype, but it could be lightened up a little bit with some Weird Al accordions, and that is Numb by Linkin Park.
All right.
Luke, I see Luca's reaction, but Numb is a really kind of depressing song, but if you add accordions to that hook, it could be a little more fun and upbeat, and I would love to hear Numb with accordions.
All right. Interesting choice. Jessica, I'll go over to you.
Leaving time on the table there. 20 seconds left.
I'm good. Go ahead.
Okay.
All right, Jessica,
20.
your opening statement. What rock single is most improved by adding an accordion?
Okay, so the accordion to me feels like it's the most absurd musical instrument on the planet. And in order for this to enter into a rock song, you have to go to the most absurd genre of rock music, and that is 80s hair. And probably if not the most absurd 80s hair metal song would probably have to be Poison's Talk Dirty to Me.
Interesting.
See, he's already laughing.
Oh, I can hear the rest.
We're
20 seconds left.
We're starting off on a bang here. This is gonna be good.
Sorry, that hit me.
Anything else you want to add, Jess, before we get into the actual debate?
Oh, okay.
No?
I think the reaction said everything.
All right, yeah. So we these guys.
Nice.
So for Caleb, he is debating "Numb" by Linkin Park, and then Jessica, we have "Talk Dirty to Me" by Poison. You guys will each have 4 minutes to argue and tell why, or say why yours is better and the other one's worse. Whoever wants to start.
Okay, so imagine getting in your car, turning on the radio, going to a rock station, and they say, "Here is Numb by Linkin Park." And there's accordions on that hook. The I feel so numb, underlined by accordions. I can hear it now, and that would make me so hyped for anything, and it would just instantly lightens what, to me, is one of the most depressing rock songs there is. When it comes to the Poison song, I think Poison is great as is. I love Nothing But a Good Time. It's one of my favorites. I love Poison. I remember playing their songs on Guitar Hero. However, accordions with Poison, I agree with your 80s hair metal idea. Hey, going 80s hair metal with accordions could be cool, but you picked the wrong band and you picked the wrong song for that. I don't think Poison needs that. Their songs really don't. They're already kind of fun with their high energy guitars and beats and drums all on its own, that adding accordion is just a little too much.
All right, interesting. Jess, yeah. Hop in whenever. This is meant to be free form.
This is 80s hair metal. There is never such a thing as too much. It's the 80s. Everything is too much.
That's why the 80s are so great, though. It's because it's so high in energy, but the accordion just doesn't fit. The accordion fits in 80s rock. I can hear it. I just don't think it fits with Poison. I can hear it with literally, like, throw it in with Twisted Sister. I agree. I can hear it with so many 80s rock bands, but I just can't imagine that with Poison. And it just doesn't work in my head with me. Whereas with Numb, that is already a really downer song. And you throw in accordions, and that instantly makes Linkin Park's Numb like right back up to number 1. If you remixed it today with accordions, top charts.
Like, come on. Linkin Park is a product of its time. I know you probably don't remember the early 2000s, but it was a depressing ass fucking time. We needed that kind of music in that time.
Yes,
The
but it's a
80s
different time.
Is the period of excess, and Bret Michaels, instead of making weird 80s love to the microphone stand, is doing the exact same thing with an accordion. It is just the perfect amount of extra that the world needs, really.
Okay, but like, yes, Numb is a kind of a product of its time, but Linkin Park is not. Linkin Park has evolved and changed over the years, and Numb is still, to this day, their biggest hit for a reason of what it talks about. But the thing is, that transitional like theme is just really depressing. It's really downer, and I get that's what it was for that time, but you bring that to today, it doesn't fully translate as well. And I think we live in meme culture. We live in an era where everything is jokes and memes, and if you made Numb with I can see the accordion remix of Numb as a meme right now, viral hit, everyone loving it, because there's a kid who yodels in Walmart and they put a trap beat under it, and that's right now the top of the iTunes ringtone charts. Like, it's insane. You can do anything.
And
Accordions with
Poison
Numb,
is the equivalent of the 17,000 SpongeBob memes. Like, it's already a thing.
yeah, but you add accordions to it, and now it's officially a thing. It'd be
Exactly.
amazing. It'd be amazing.
All right. Kale, what do you like for time?
We got 10 seconds left.
Yeah.
I'll use the last 10 seconds of this just to say that Poison is a product of the 80s, and it fits perfectly well in its little slot of the 80s as is. It doesn't need the improvement. Whereas
That's time.
Yeah.
Stop.
All right. So we'll do. We have a minute here to close. Jess, I'll let you go first for your closing arguments.
We don't need to lighten up Linkin Park. Linkin Park is perfectly fine as it is, deep and dark. We're talking about adding something extra. And the only way you can add something extra is if it already halfway works. Which, Poison, 80s hair metal, that's where it's got to be.
All right, 30 seconds left. If you got anything else you want to say. Okay. So go back to Caleb then.
Yeah, Mr. Goho, the floor is yours.
Linkin Park has evolved to be a little bit more bright. In that last album, One More Light, that came out, that was the last one. It was a lot more bright and a little more positive than the Numb era. And I think if you took Numb and you brightened it up to One More Light level, and you can do that with accordions, that it would translate actually pretty well, and I think it would be well received. Poison, if you did it now today, no one remembers Poison. I remember Poison because I grew up on 80s music, and I love Poison as is, as a perfect time capsule of what 80s hair metal is. It doesn't need to be changed. It doesn't need accordions to be good. It's perfect as is in its little bubble, and no one cares about Poison today. So if you did an accordion remix right now, no one would listen to it. It's Numb all the way. Best rock song for accordions.
All right.
All right, 15 seconds.
I will waive it.
Okay, cool.
All right. So I'm gonna give my 2 cents here first, and then I'll give my kind of my vote towards the point, and then I'll go to the other judges here. Solid debates in this question here. I think it was kind of an agreement that for each song, that the argument that it was better on its own. That you didn't really need it to improve. You didn't really need to improve it. The big thing that I caught in this debate was that Kale mentioned that Numb was Linkin Park's biggest song already, so that by adding the accordion, it doesn't really need, I got the sense that it doesn't really need to be improved if it's already the best song. I feel like there might have been like a better Linkin Park song to go with. So I think that was kind of a flaw in his. And then Jess really tackled on the point of Numb is really like kind of like melancholy kind of tune where we're adding the joy would just kind of be weird. So I'm gonna give Jess the point in this first question. Kale Mashed Potatoes, want to go to you next. Who do you give your vote to?
Who did you say? Me?
Yeah, you.
Okay. All right. That was interesting. I was furiously scribbling notes so that I wouldn't screw this up. I think Jess like really had some strong counter punches there. She kind of rebutted like almost everything that Caleb said. What really kind of brought it over for me was when Caleb brought up that it was that today's culture is meme culture and it's absurd. But and then she brought it back that that's what Poison is. Like that's what this song entirely is already. So it wouldn't change the nature of the song, whereas it would. She said it twice. Would weaken the actual song of Numb if we made it lighten. So I think Jess too. I think Jess took it.
Yeah. So yeah, Jess already has two votes. Luca, how would you have went?
I was right there with Jess until the end, but Caleb's point about meme culture I think was fucking fantastic. I think that was just like an impeccable debate point that sort of reframes Numb in, if we're talking about it like in terms of like the current period of time, I think that Caleb's point about meme culture really sort of was quite a brilliant debate point because it frames it so well in terms of how we listen to things now. As much as I love the idea of Bret Michaels fucking an accordion, and as much as I found the initial idea hilarious, I personally would have given the point to Caleb.
Okay, interesting.
I got Luca on my side. I feel good. That was a complete joke answer, and I totally would have sided with Jess because that was 100% awesome.
Yeah.
The meme culture point I think was great.
Yeah, nice. All right, so yeah, Jess strikes first. Get on the board there, 1-0. So our second question. Here at Jack of All Trivia, we have we're like kind of the best of all the worlds. We have all the medias, movies, geekdom, TV, music, wrestling. So the next question I have for you guys, and we're gonna have Jess kick off the opening statements. Is what is the best supergroup? So these are bands that have members that were famous on their own previously, and then came together to form an album or so. Yeah, at least an album. So Jess, I will let you go first. Who is the best supergroup and why?
All right, I'm gonna go with a group that has been around longer than at least my old ass by about a good decade or so. And You know what? Their music is still being played today. It's at the point where they're being covered today. And I'm going to go with the group founded in 1973 with members from Free, Mott the Hoople, and King Crimson. I'm going Bad Company.
Interesting. Alrighty. Anything you wanted to add there in your opening statement at all? Or?
No.
Okay. All right. Mr. Coho, the floor is yours. Who is the best supergroup and why?
When I looked up the definition of a supergroup, I wanted to make sure that this group was one that qualified. The members include Jack Antonoff of Steel Train and Bleachers, Andrew Dost of Antholo, and lead singer Nate Roos of The Format. This is Fun. Fun is a supergroup that came together in 2009 with Aim and Ignite, but they topped themselves in 2012 with Some Nights. They are the Grammy winners of Song of the Year for We Are Young and Best New Artist. They've proven themselves as a group that can come together individually and be mildly successful, but they come together and they make really great music. And they are such a great indie rock group to listen to, and I'll save the rest of my stuff for the debate rebuttal.
All right, guys. 4 minutes each. Whoever wants to start, hop in.
So we're going.
Oh my
it was
gosh, I figured this
Fun
was
versus
probably
who?
going to be a generational shit.
Fun versus Bad Company.
I missed it again.
Bad Company.
Bad Company.
Okay, gotcha. Yes.
All right, 4 minutes, guys. Whoever wants to start, hop in.
I knew at least at some point this was going to come down to a generational difference between the two of us. I just knew it. But Bad Company, you have at least 4 classic songs. You've got Can't Get Enough. You've got Shooting Star. Feel Like Making Love. You're already singing these in your head right now. Also, their, title song, Bad Company. We're talking about guys that have been covered by Five Finger Death Punch, Kid Rock, God bless his wretched little soul, Puddle of Mud, Tesla, fucking revamped Queen.
Okay, but my thing with Bad Company is that individually, I don't recognize those names immediately. And I mean, I don't recognize fully all the members of Fun, so I just kind of negated that point. But when it comes to Fun was the first multi-person rock group since the most underrated rock band of all time, Nickelback, to have a #1 single debut on the Billboard Hot 100 with We Are Young, which debuted ahead of How You Remind Me, just for all my Nickelback fans. The song, all 5 of us, their song We Are Young is the only song to gain over 300,000 plus downloads for 7 weeks straight. Fun is a very successful group.
Who is covering their songs? Absolutely
everyone. You go on YouTube, you can punch in We Are Young, you can punch in Some Nights, you can punch in Carry On, you can punch in any of those, and you'll see Boyce Avenue, Anthem Lights, all of the biggest cover groups of this decade have covered a Fun song. Easily. Fun is probably one of the most covered groups of this decade, at least. And they will be covered for a long time because these songs are really, really, really above the standard for this decade of pop and indie rock. With Fun,
I have literally heard of nobody that you have just said.
Okay, again, probably a generational thing.
But you two that are getting covered by top tier talent.
I'm
not some dude sitting in his room playing on YouTube.
What I'm talking, well, Boyce Avenue is top tier. Don't disrespect Boyce Avenue like that. But the thing about Fun is that everyone has heard these songs. Everyone. And not only that, people are still listening to them, still buying the fact if they are on hiatus right now and people are still demanding more Fun music. They put out a song in 2014 called Sight of the Sun. Everyone downloaded it. It was one of the top singles of that year. And immediately after that, they're like, oh, we need to go back to the groups because we realized this is bigger, but we're already committed to other things, so we can't continue, which it just proves individually they were fine. But when they came together, they were better as a super group than they were in their individual groups. Whereas Bad Company, I can't really say that. I think Bad Company did fine as a super group, but individually they were almost stronger in their own things. I think Fun is truly the definition of a super group because a super group has to come together and have a connection that creates talent and success that people want to continuously listen to. Fun has all of that. They have come together and they're more successful as this unit than they are individually. As proven by Nate Ruess's solo debut, which did fine, it still is not going to top Some Nights, which was one of the top albums of that year, if not the top album. Fun is amazing. I talked for a long time. I'll get back to you.
Mashed potatoes, how are they doing for time?
20 seconds.
All right. 20 seconds, guys.
I'm talking about a super group that had a run for 10 years, took a break, had a run for another 13 years, took a break, came back for a couple of years, took a break, and they have been going now for the past 10 fucking years. They're still going out. They're still doing their shit. Nobody's gonna know who Fun is in 10 years.
1. Time's up. Oof. Time is up.
Interesting. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I got some fact check stuff to do. Oh no, it's closing arguments. My bad.
Yeah, closing arguments. Yeah. We got a minute for closings. This should be pretty interesting. Mr. Coho, I'll give you the floor first.
Okay, when we look at supergroups, it has to be based on success. When it comes to Bad Company, I guarantee you, if you asked anyone today, not a peep from anyone. If you said who's Bad Company, people would not know unless you're like I mean, age difference, obviously. But when you talk to people today, fun is still in the conversation, which is insane for a group that has been around since 2005, 2009-ish. And since then has made out 2 albums. And out of those 2 albums, they have broken records. They are the only people to have a song that has sold over 300,000 plus downloads for 7 weeks straight. They are insane. They made history and they continue to make history. Right now they're on a break. People are going to know Fun for the next 10, 20 years because they consistently have made great music.
All right. Jess, your closing arguments.
I'm going to go back to the fact that we are talking about a group that is still going out. The 1973, 2018, that's what, 45, 35 years? I do movies, I can't math. But even to this day, I guarantee you, both Caleb and Brooklyn, who already have bands, have covered Bad Company songs. You think they're playing Fun? They're not playing Fun. These are the staples of rock music. Bad Company will be remembered long after Fun goes back to whatever hole they came out of. And believe me, they came out of a hole. One of their members is from a tiny little town about an hour away from me.
All right, 5, 4, 3. That's time.
All right. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Interesting choices. I'm really surprised that nobody picked Them Crooked Vultures.
Yankees, Foo Fighters,
Crosby, Stills, and Nash Young.
Like,
yeah,
a super group so super that the names of the bands is the artists is the band.
Yeah, that was my number 2.
Wait, can I put a quick fact check thing in?
Absolutely, yeah. Luca, you go first since your vote didn't count.
Yeah, okay. So quick fact check thing. It was Jessica who was talking about like just a funny thing that I found when I was looking on YouTube. Jessica was talking about top tier talent having covered Bad Company, and Caleb responded with Voice Avenue, and Jessica was like, "That's not top tier." I just want to point out that one of the bands that Jessica mentioned was Puddle of Mud. One of them was Kid Rock, and one of them was Five Finger Death Punch. Voice Avenue have at least 10 times as many subscribers as all of those people combined on YouTube. So that was just a little tidbit that I found out that I thought was really interesting. I hate that I'm doing this, but I'm just going to call it the way I see it. I think Fun are a not very good band. I thought Aim at Ignite was a really good album, and I didn't like their follow-up. Caleb fucking killed it. Caleb absolutely fucking killed it there. The comments on, the kind of the way that they are so current and so in the current consciousness, are winning Grammys, are like advancing the sort of the form of indie pop and pop music, which I didn't necessarily agree with, but I thought were great points. I'm gonna give that one to Caleb fucking wholeheartedly. And I love the shit out of Bad Company. I do not like Fun very much.
Right, mashed potatoes. Over to you. There's a vote for Mr. Goho.
I'm in the same camp as Luca in terms of Fun versus Bad Company. In terms of the debate, I think Jessica's closing was very strong when she came in. I mean, it's true. We have I could almost guarantee that Brooklyn has too. We've covered Bad Company songs. We were singing all of those songs. They've got longevity, like 35 plus years. They were a top band for 10 years, covered by top tiers. She named 4 of their songs. Caleb came back. He named 4 of their songs too. Also mentioned covers. I think what gave Caleb the slight edge though is he had those facts and figures. He knew how long they were in the number 1 on the Billboard. He knew how many albums they sold. I think he just got out more information that was relevant, whereas Jess was kind of playing to sentimentality. I got to give it to Caleb.
All right, interesting. I was really torn on who, because whenever Jess mentioned Bad Company, I instantly started. I instantly heard "Feel Like Making Love."
That's personal association, though.
Yeah.
It's bad.
And then whenever Caleb mentioned fun, I was like, oh, like that's kind of an interesting choice. But like I look at it as like how Jess mentioned, like, oh, they're covered by so many bands. But then Caleb brought up Boyce Avenue and the kind of the YouTube heavy ones. I saw that as kind of a cancel out just because of the way just because it's just kind of the generational kind of thing. Like Bad Company was big in the 70s, and then they would have the rock bands cover them. Where at 2008, and like where a lot of where they're going to get covered a lot is going to be like these YouTube artists that are trying to grow. But yeah, I think I do have to agree that I believe Caleb brought it with some of the facts that he presented, and how Bad Company, while yes they have some great tunes where you're kind of hanging off of nostalgia. But yeah, interesting, really good debates. Very impressed.
I got Luca twice. This is the best.
I hate this. Bad Company are also they're like a super group because they've had so many different members from so many different things. Someone from like Heart plays in Bad Company now.
I was researching supergroups. I saw Hollywood Vampires and I saw Damn Yankees, and both of those I was like, I recognize almost everyone in these groups, so why can't I pick this over Fun? When I saw Fun, I was like, I resonate to that, so I need to pick that.
Yeah, I would have personally.
I agree. Bad Company's better.
Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
I would have personally loved to have seen them Crooked Vultures, Chrysler's Ashley Young, or the Raconteurs.
Cream.
Cream.
What knows Swan Love?
Foo Fighters.
Yeah, there's so many.
They're also super great.
Audio Slave.
Yeah,
that's from the Germs.
Slave. Yeah,
and obviously Grohl.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So we're tied up one apiece in what's going to be a very interesting match. Let's go to question number 3. The whole reason why this thing started was on our top 10 rappers show. So the question that I have for you guys today is, who is the most overrated rapper? Caleb, I will give you the floor first for your opening remarks.
Okay. Straight up. It's not Tupac Shakur. I'm not going to do that because Tupac, that's a personal thing. I do think he's great, so I'm not going to take that. Instead, I'm going to take a different controversial choice that is sure to make every person watching scream with intensity at their screens. This person is a Grammy-nominated smash. Every album he's made has been up for Album of the Year, and he's considered legendary. But the thing is, it's only because of the time period he's in. I'm taking Kendrick Lamar.
Oh! Motherfucker!
I'm taking Kendrick Lamar basically because he's considered a legendary, all-time amazing rapper, and the Grammys reflect that. But the thing is, it's only because he has little to no competition right now in this decade, and I'll get more to that in my follow-up argument.
All right.
All right, perfect. That's time.
Yeah. Jess, your opening statement.
Oh, I hate to say it, but mine is probably the easier choice. This man kind of believes he's a gift from the gods. However, he is the musical equivalent of taking a man home and realizing he has had way too much to drink to be any use to you. And I'm gonna go with Kanye West. He is the rap equivalent of Whiskey Dick.
Interesting. Anything else you want to add in your opening statement, Jess?
I know he has his production values, but that's all he has. Production.
Yeah.
When he opens his mouth, it's garbage.
Yeah.
Fact check quickly. Both of these artists are fucking excellent. You guys are stupid.
All right. Mashed potatoes, should you tell them or should I?
No, you didn't do it.
I have some good news. I have some good news and I have some bad news. The bad news is that this is a trick question. The good news is that I'm out of bad news. So the question is actually, who is the most underrated rapper?
I can fight this. I picked a great one. Oh,
Okay.
Okay, so straight up, Kendrick Lamar is not rated. He's absolute trash for a reason because he can't write, he can't rap. He is literally coasting off production. Gold Digger is the only song in his repertoire that is semi-halfway decent. Kendrick Lamar has great lyricism, excellent lyricism. In fact, he is standing head and shoulders above everyone else out there. He competes with mainstream artists like Lil Yachty, Lil Uzi Vert, Tekashi 69, and Lil Pump. Those are literally rappers that he has to compete with. Sure, he's got Logic, Futuristic, NF. They're not in the same mainstream consciousness like Kendrick Lamar, whose lyricism has earned him Album of the Year nominations consistently from Good Kid, Mad City all the way up to Damn. He is one of the most prolific rappers, and he will be talked about for the rest of time.
Oh.
Whereas Kanye's trash. He's a gimmick.
Okay, let's go back to remembering the first time that we actually heard Kanye rap. Motherfucker's mouth was sewn shut because he was in a car crash. And the man can spit rhymes.
Can he, though? Can he? When we looked, he made this thing. What was it? Was it called Bounce 2? It was parodied by James Franco and Seth Rogen for being so terrible of a song that they couldn't sit on it for so long.
Parodying the song or the trashy
They were
music?
parodying him.
Girlfriend.
Here's the thing. Bounce 2 is Kanye rapping about him. This is pure Kanye. And it's a window into how terrible of a human being and a terrible rapper he is. It's a window into the gimmick and the fake artistry of Kanye West. Kanye West is so conceited, so loaded, so full of himself that he doesn't realize he's not talented enough to keep rapping. Sure, Gold Digger, good for 2007. In 2018, no one is listening to Kanye West because he's a gimmick, he's trash, and now he's just Kim Kardashian's husband. I was going to say a different word. I'm going to say husband for politeness sake. However, Kendrick Lamar has been in the public consciousness. When he was indie, people were like, whatever, this kid. Now he has come up in the consciousness to the point where he is still not given the credit. When Eminem put out a new album, everyone's like, oh, Eminem's new album, we must get it. But Kendrick Lamar puts out an album and everyone's just like, oh, is this really going to be that good? It's Kendrick. But the point is, Kendrick is amazing in lyricism, amazing in performance, amazing in production all around. DNA does some incredible things that we don't hear in rap music anymore, really. And it's just his lyricism sheerly he made an album called Untitled Unmastered, with all songs with no names, unmastered, and it was probably one of the best rap albums of the decade. He is amazing, and Kanye is a gimmick.
All right, Jess. Yeah, anything you wanna add there? Anything that you wanna go after?
Oh, I'll be completely goddamn honest. I'm pretty darn sure I lost this one.
I mean,
Right.
yeah, there's 30 seconds left. If anybody wants to, if Jess can make a comeback, but
Oh,
I'll say one more thing for this rebuttal. Kendrick Lamar, if he had debuted a decade ago, would have been up against the likes of Eminem and Nas, and he would have stood the test of time against them because of how talented he is. Critics don't necessarily view him with the goggles that he deserves. He is on par with Biggie and Tupac. If he had shown up 15 years ago, he would have been put up on a pedestal with those two. And he should. He is one of the most underrated, successful, and self-made rappers in this industry. And we'll be around for
time.
All right, time. Wow.
1 minute closings now.
I got
Yeah.
moved.
1 minute closing. Jess, you're first. Time starts whenever you want to start.
Oh. I have no words. I have just been completely hosed by this twist ending. Like,
Okay.
trying to argue the virtues of Kanye, it's like talking about all the good things Hitler did.
Wow.
Jesus!
Wow.
Dear diary, today Kanye was compared to Hitler.
Wow.
All right.
You heard it here first.
All right.
I'm gonna let you finish.
I don't
but,
think we even need to let anybody finish. I think that's the game on that one.
Yeah. I'll throw in my 2 cents right quick. I mean, like it was.
Fact check.
Yeah.
Quickly. Kanye is, by the way, still not Hitler.
Still definitely not Hitler.
All right. Yeah. So I'll throw my 2 cents here real quick. I mean, like it was pretty one-sided. Unfortunately, I think that twist really held up Jess. The one point that I was waiting for Jess to really tackle was that even when we made it the trick question about it being an underrated rapper, Caleb mentioned early in this debate that how he was still nominated for Album of the Year during his Grammys, and I was waiting for Jess to kind of tackle that. But yeah, I think Caleb has to get the point. Luca, your thoughts?
I mean, yeah, that was a slaughter.
3-0.
Absolutely.
No argument for me.
3-0 from Luca. I love it.
Kanye is just a much harder guy to defend as a human being. I think his music is great, but like it's hard to consider Kanye to be underrated because him and everyone else seems to think he's a fucking god. So yeah, tough break.
Caleb or mashed potatoes?
I mean, everything you said, like that, like man, he just listed off everything, like every reason that like there is to hate Kanye. He brought to light, and then also like reversed his his argument. I mean, his opening statement was Kendrick is only good because of the time that he's in, and then he came back and was like, Kendrick is so good because if he was in the '90s. He'd be with Eminem and Nas, and like
I had to take my entire argument and flip it, and I'm so glad I went controversial. I'm so glad I went controversial.
Yeah, that gamble definitely paid off. I mean, and I mean, just like her argument starting out was that Kanye is the human equivalent of whiskey dick, so it's hard to come back from that.
I do want to say the question that would have been the whole crux of my argument is but because he has no real competition, is he put on a pedestal? Is Kanye West good? Yes. Is he an all-time legendary GOAT that the Grammys and critics make him out to be? No. That was the whole crux of my argument, and I had to like just go yes and yes.
I think the tip of butterfly gets it pretty much in the conversation of like he's possibly an all-time great.
I'm sure he will be. I don't connect.
Two actual quick fact-checking things with those arguments, and it's all on Caleb because he said all of the things. Gold Digger is from 2005, not 2007, and Kendrick has 5 albums, not 4. He did an album called Section 80, which also exists.
Okay.
Like Caleb did not bring up or specifically excluded.
Yeah. Before we get to the next question, I want to say hi to the cool kids in the chat. We got John Salvi joining us today. Nico,
John, too sweet,
cheering off Mega Kappa. We got Paul Oyama as well as Michael Campbell, the otherwise known as the Big Pitcher over on Theory Trivia.
The boys.
So it is 2-1, 2-1 for Mr. Coho.
I'm so happy we get to go to round 4.
Going into round 4.
Is it Linkin Park again?
I wish. No.
I wish. If Caleb gets his points, he wins 3-1. But if Jess gets it, we go into our blind question that neither competitor knows about. So the next question that I have is this was always a question that I had, but that was always a question I usually ask for like Collider stuff, and like if there's ever like a Q&A, I try to throw it in there. But I'm kind of curious to hear what everyone else's thoughts are on it. And this would be in terms of Bond themes. I feel like there's always like it's almost like as big of a topic as who do you get to play Bond, as to who do you get to do a theme. So the question that I have today for Jess and Caleb is what artist or band do you want to do a Bond theme next? And Jess, I will let you open first.
Okay, so first, in order to get into my head of what this Bond theme is, I had to also think about who is composing the score for said Bond movie.
All right.
And with the amount of work that he's doing right now, And with the tone of the current Bond movies, as dreadful as I find them, I decided that probably the next Bond movie was going to be scored by Trent Reznor. So I picked kind of a slightly out of the box choice to be as the singer for the new Bond song, and I picked Tarja Tuerman of Nightwish to sing the next Bond song.
All
I
right.
think her tone combined with Reznor's orchestration is going to be an amazing fit.
Anything else you want to add there before I kick it over to Caleb?
No, but I think I'm okay.
Okay. All right, Mr. Goho, the floor is yours. You got a minute.
Okay, so when it comes to the Bond themes, the best Bond theme in my mind is Skyfall by Adele, and I really did like Sam Smith's Writings on the Wall. I like the new kind of style they're taking with the pop artist that has recent success and gets into it. The person I picked has done a theme for another franchise, but I think if he did this, he was in the conversation to do the actor, and I really do want him to do the next one. That is Ed Sheeran.
Interesting.
I will save my other stuff for the return for battles.
Oh, alrighty. 4 minutes, guys, to duke it out.
Okay, so he did "I See Fire" for The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug, and that song is probably the best part of that movie. It's one of my favorite, I think even one of the best songs that's been written for a movie in the last decade. He's a much bigger success now than he was at the time of Writings on the Wall and Sam Smith and Spectre, and more famous now coming off of Divide than he was when Multiply had come out, which was his album when they were making Spectre. When Adele sang Skyfall, they gave it to her after the success of 21, and they gave Sam Smith his Bound theme after he swept the Grammys in 2014. Ed Sheeran just topped the billboards and became a financial and critical success with Divide, Shape of You, all stuff like that. And the 007 franchise has recently gone after people who are very famous or achieve big success / critical and awards acclaim and try to capitalize on the name recognition. Right now, the biggest male name in pop music is Ed Sheeran. And there's no one I'd rather hear do a Bond theme than Ed, because he has such a great lyrical ability, songwriting ability, and he has such a nice voice that I could see something really cool be done with the James Bond themes. Whereas I'm unfamiliar with Nightwatch, so I can't really talk, but I don't want to hear Trent Reznor score this movie. If Trent Reznor is attached with your pick, then I shoot that down hardcore.
It doesn't even necessarily have to be Trent Reznor, but listening through Tarja's discography, which I managed to do real quick in the 2 hours before coming on here today, her vocal range works with almost every major composer working right now. The problem with giving men the Bond themes is that in 5 or 10 years, nobody remembers that they did it. Every single Bond theme that you remember, save for probably Live and Let Die, nobody remembers the guys singing the Bond theme songs.
But I would say that Ed Sheeran would change that, because Ed Sheeran is going to be going down as a pop legend. He really will. He'll be someone that people will remember. And it'll be the equivalent of having, like, Michael Jackson do a Bond theme. I know, Michael Jackson would have done a great Bond theme, probably. But that's not the argument. But Ed Sheeran is someone that I think could bring something really new, something fresh. And the thing with all the male Bond themes is they usually just stick to the same cookie-cutter pattern. Sam Smith is male Adele, so it was just trying to go for a remake of the Skyfall theme, which is why Writings on the Wall doesn't really work, but it kind of works. And Ed Sheeran could bring something new, some original life and something different infused into the Bond theme that we don't have right now. It's all sleek and Chicago-y.
Yes, but the problem with Ed Sheeran's music is none of Ed Sheeran's music fits tonally with the Daniel Craig Bond films, because we're talking about scoring Bond 25.
I'm saying Bond 25's tone, it's Danny Boyle directing this. Anything can happen right now. Like, it's not Sam Mendes. Danny Boyle is probably going to do something great, and new with Daniel Craig's Bond. Yeah, they're normally dark and gritty, but Ed Sheeran, if you've heard some of the stuff he's done recently, yeah, Divide's kind of bright and poppy. Save Myself is the song on there, and Supermarket Flowers are the two songs that I really think stand out as they could be Bond themes. And he did a song with Eminem recently, River, where he really showed that he's got the emotional chops that he can do a Bond theme and have it be really cool, something original and something really neat. His voice is so adaptable that he can really do
30 seconds.
And Taria's tone is almost so much of a disconnect from the tone of these Bond movies that you're gonna be like, wait, what the fuck? Oh my god.
See, but here's the thing: I'm gonna forget her Bond theme because I don't know her name. And like the reason why I remember Skyfall is yes, it's great, but Adele is also the name that I associate. Sam Smith's is because I remember Sam Smith.
Time.
Interesting. Very interesting 4 to 6 minutes there. Interesting points brought up. So we'll go to closing arguments now. Mr. Coho, the floor is yours.
Ed Sheeran is a name that people are going to remember for decades on decades. And if he does a Bond theme, people are going to listen to this. It's going to make this Bond theme a hit, just like when you brought Adele onto it. Everyone remembered her because she's just done Set Fire to the Rain and Turning Tables and that 21 album. So everyone would listen to that. And that's why it stayed as a big hit. Yes, the song's great. And I think Ed Sheeran, who is one of the top songwriters, he writes songs for so many people because he's so good, could write probably one of the most lyrically genius Bond films, or not Bond films, but Bond songs and perform it well. It'd be something new, something original, something vibrant, something different from what we've been having for the last 50 years of James Bond. And I think it could be something really cool and something that would be memorable. Whereas I think if Nightwash did it, it would be too different, too out there, that it just doesn't mesh as well as Ed Sheeran could bring something new, something vibrant that did mesh in its own sort of way that people would listen to independently without it being a permanent Bond theme.
Time.
The thing is, there's
Clarification. Nightwish.
Nightwish, sorry.
Right.
I'm thinking of comics.
All right, Jess, when you're ready.
Sorry. We need another nice band Bond theme. Nightwish, Tarja Turin. I mean, Live and Let Die is kind of a shit Bond movie, but Paul McCartney and Wings kind of makes the Bond theme. And I want to kind of use this as to make Nightwish into the household name that Ed Sheeran already is. Ed Sheeran doesn't need to do a Bond film. He'll just go do another bullshit cameo in Game of Thrones. The tone is there in these Bond films to do Nightwish as a Bond theme song. And it's high time we got rid of the people that are already top 40 and gave it to somebody who could actually use this as a springboard to become an international sensation.
And that is time. Whew. That closing though.
Got another fact check, guys.
All right. Yeah. I want to get Caleb's vote, but before I get Caleb's vote, I want to go to our now fact checker, Luca.
Yeah.
I guess so.
So, quick fact check. Tarja Turin is not in Nightwish. It has not been in Nightwish for like a good decade. Tarja Turin has not been the singer of Nightwish for a long time. It was Annette Olsen after Tarja Turin, and it is currently Floor Jansen. Although I think I would still take the argument as is. But yeah, Tarja Turin has not been in Nightwish for quite some time.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I think it's still a valid argument because she said of Nightwish. It does cancel out her argument that we need the band Nightwish in there, but I think otherwise her argument's still valid.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So, Massachusetts, who do you give your vote to and why?
Geez. That fact check kind of like hurt just a good amount, unfortunately. I like that she said she wanted to use to use Bond for a Bond theme for good to push push a band further. Again, unfortunately, it's not what Nightwish anymore. That they'd fit that her voice would fit the tone of like any director or composer out there. I absolutely agree with that. Said Ed Sheeran doesn't really fit in the Bond theme. He doesn't need to do a Bond theme. He should stick to do it. I think all of that was really strong. In terms of Caleb, he brought up that he has already done work on The Hobbit. I feel like that, and other things. I feel like Jess was able to kind of beat that down a little bit. He said that he will be known in the future. He will be known for a long time. He's got longevity. Man, that's really hard. He's a bigger, more famous. Oh man, I think before that fact check, I think that Jess had it for me. I just don't know how to factor in that fact check though. God damn it! I think I have to go with Caleb because of the fact check. Damn it!
All right, I want to give my 2 cents here. While I acknowledge that the fact, that the fact check was that, I'll acknowledge that, that Tarja hasn't been with Nightwish for quite some time. I do understand the point that Jess was trying to get across, and I don't think that hinders her argument so much. So, to me, what really stuck out in this question was that Caleb was kind of stuck on this. So Ed Sheeran, it's the fame that's gonna bring him in, and it's like and in terms of like musicality, there was more so like a songwriter's perspective is what I got. Whereas with Jess, I got like she was like, oh, like her vocal range would fit with James Bond tunes, like, and she mentioned like Trent Reznor doing the score, so you have an image of a vibe, or you have like an idea of the vibe they're trying to go for. Whereas Ed Sheeran is just like, you just kind of throw him in there for namesake, and that's what I got. Where he's just kind of adaptable, and he just kind of throw in. He'd like do his like 2.5 minute theme and then leave. Even with the fact check, I'm gonna give my point to Jess. Luca, it is a tie. The floor is yours.
It's tricky.
Yeah.
It's really tricky. Nightwish is probably one of my favorite symphonic metal bands. Tarja Turen is probably just one of my favorite singers in metal, woman or otherwise. I think that just made some really good points about the tone and kind of tying it in with the score. Although I really thought you were going to say Nine Inch Nails, and I kind of wanted that to happen. But I think that the way Jess talked about sort of integrating the tone in with Tarja's singing. I love the point about being a springboard. I really love that point. Caleb has some great points about Ed Sheeran being a big name. I thought that Jess's point about the male singers being forgotten was kind of a weird point, because we have people like Tom Jones and stuff like that, but I don't think that Caleb capitalized on that to deliver like a counterpoint. So I think that Caleb sort of missed a beat by not picking up on that. I'm going to go with Jess, because I think that Jess made a better argument as to why Tarja, as a vocalist, would sort of coincide with the tone of the current Daniel Craig movies, because as much as Caleb said that they can change the tone because it's Danny Boyle, I don't really think that makes much sense. It's a brand with a brand identity at the moment. So I'm going to give the point to Jess. Even though, sorry about that little fact check there. I feel like I made it very awkward.
My bad. Well, this is unexpected.
So we are 2 and 2.
Yes, this is crazy.
By the way,
still really do think
100% Nightwish is one of my favorite metal bands. It's awesome.
Nightwish are a great band.
Such a good pick.
I think everyone thinks of Ed Sheeran as the Shape of You Ed Sheeran, when in reality Ed Sheeran can be.
Oh,
like,
we've had Ed Sheeran in the
Icifier.
UK for a long time. He has always
Yeah.
been fun for
I actually had a friend from college that was following Ed Sheeran before he got huge, and I got to listen to a bit of it. And he's an incredible songwriter.
He used to do like trash Jason Mraz style hip hop with like percussive acoustic guitar shit.
But I do think Ed Sheeran's going to do the next Bond thing for real. I really do think he will.
Michael and Paul saying active in the chat. Paul saying Ed Sheeran makes the Kix cereal of music. He is more bland than plain white bread.
What?
To be fair, he also
Did you not listen to Divide?
Divide is garbage.
Divide's the best album of 2017. Fight me. Fight
What?
me. It should have won Album of the Year. Shape of You should have been nominated for Record of the Year. Fight me. Fight me. Divide was the best album of last year.
All right. Interesting. Also, Michael is commending Luca on his great Dan Merle impression.
Yeah,
It's true.
I just make myself useful.
Yeah. All right.
For the record, the best album of 2017 is actually Full of Hell's Trumpeting Ecstasy, regardless of what anyone fucking else said. Close second would be the Kalela album, but let's go with that.
All right, guys. So we are tied up. So that means we get to go into our special blind question. These competitors do not know what the question is. I will ask do you guys have your whiteboards on you?
I can grab mine.
Okay, yeah. Grab your whiteboard. Grab your whiteboard right quick.
The winner shall be decided through Jukebox Trivia.
The Jukebox Trivia. Dun, dun, dun. I want to go to Luca and Caleb. What are you guys' thoughts on the debate so far? It's tied up. Did you have certain questions going to certain competitors like before the show started?
Caleb's got a lot of words, but I think Jessica tends to choose hers better. I think in general, I thought that the James Bond question is probably the best question we've had all day. In terms of the level of debate, I thought it was really impressive. Yeah, I was being pretty impressed.
Yeah, I was already expecting to get an avalanche of words from Caleb, and he's not disappointing. But Jess is killing it with her counter, with her rebuttals or whatever you want to call them. I think she's really good at that, and I honestly thought she might be a little bit out of it after the rapper question because Caleb was just so prepared, and she had a couple hours to prepare for this. So I thought it might be be a landslide for Caleb, but that Bond question was great. Took it and taking the insanely risky pick too was Jess. That was awesome for me. Yeah, this is so much fun.
Want to throw a quick shout out to Paulo Yama in the chat. Melodrama by Lord is indeed way better than Divide.
Oh no, it is not. It is trash. Melodrama is absolute trash.
What?
It is not better than Pure Heroin.
You and me, throw down Dance Off right now.
Right now. We're doing it.
All right.
I
think Dance Off Part 2 might be set in stone here.
Telling you, Melodrama, no. Writer in the Dark, I kind of like the lyricism, but the production overall on that album is really, really dry.
Hey, Caleb, you're not arguing with me. You're not arguing.
I know I'm not, but I hate Melodrama. Anyway, let's keep going.
All right. Okay. So the thing that I want our competitors to do right now is, and I'll give you guys 30 seconds or so to come up with one. I want you to name me a one-hit wonder.
Any
one-hit wonder.
That's hard.
Very intrigued as to what these guys pick.
I'm scared of what this question's going to be, so I'm trying really hard to not fail.
Also want to welcome Kane in the chat, just joining us as well. Everybody's given their picks for one-hit wonders. We'll give them 5.
I'm just gonna write mine down just for the fun of it.
3,
Crap. Okay.
2, 1. That is time.
Audience response was Men at Work.
They're not a one-hit wonder. They got 2 hits.
What?
Down Under and we're
All right. Save it for the
Right.
next one.
Yeah. All right, Mr. Coho, what is your one-hit wonder?
I said Walk the Moon. The people behind Shut Up and Dance.
Okay. You Walk Up the Moon. Jess, what do you got?
Fountains of Wayne.
So you're going with Stacey's Mom?
I'm going with
Stacey's Mom has got it going on.
All right. So your question, people, is what is the worst one-hit wonder of all time?
And those are our picks?
What? Yeah, those are your picks. What is
Okay.
the worst one-hit wonder of all time? Do the same format that we did. 1 minute opening, 4 minutes, but 4 minutes for each of you for a rebuttal, and then a 1 minute closing. Mr. Coho, the floor is yours.
Okay, Walk the Moon is not even a fun name for a group. I'm just going to start with that. That's a very disingenuous name. Shut Up and Dance, when I first heard it, kind of shrugged it off as like, okay, kind of fun. But the problem with them is it got played so like sparsely that I could never really catch on to them. And when I did hear it, I rolled because I was kind of just like, okay, this group again, why? Walk the Moon didn't even write a catchy, fun song, really. It's meh at best. It's not even a one-hit wonder song worthy of being talked about for all time. And this group is definitely not one that we should be talking about consistently. And I'm ashamed that I even have to talk about them right now. But yeah, no.
Right. Jess.
Okay, Stacey's Mom is probably one of, if not the most problematic one-hit wonder song of all time. We're literally talking about some dude who wants to bang his best friend's mom, and their entire premise and music video attached is purely riding off of Rachel Hunter's body. There is absolutely no redeeming quality to anything instrumentally or vocally, and this band literally disappeared as quickly as it reappeared. It got played for like 4 months over the summer and then just poof, gone. And it should stay there.
All right.
Okay.
4 minutes, guys. Let's go. Yeah.
Okay. Stacey's Mom did not go anywhere. We still jam to that to this day. Stacey's Mom, problematic but fun. Fountains of Wayne made a song that literally everyone is still listening to. Like, if you say Stacey's Mom, people know what you're talking about. That's a one-hit wonder that is probably one of the most memorable, one of the best one-hit wonder songs because it's catchy and it's got a fun beat and the guitar riffs. Like, you can't say that's not fun instrumentally because you can literally hear the song in your head. That is one that you can recall and sing probably almost entirely. Like, Stacey's Mom is probably one of the best one-hit wonder songs of all time. Walk the Moon's Shut Up and Dance was probably played for like 2 months, 3 at best, and is still not like, we don't talk about that song anymore because it's a flash in the pan top 40 song that was there for a week or two and vanished again. It's nothing substantial. Stacey's Mom is going to be remembered for a long time still because it's been remembered for a long time so far.
I mean, Walk the Moon, I literally had to pull out my phone and Google who the hell Walk the Moon was.
Exactly.
Because in order to be a one-hit wonder, you would have actually had to have heard of who the fuck they were.
Not necessarily. You just had to have heard the song. I guarantee you've heard Shut Up and Dance probably at least once. But here's the thing. It's not memorable. It's not a memorable song. You're proving my point for me. That group is not memorable. That song is not memorable. It's a flash in the pan act, whereas Fountains of Wayne, the fact that you can pull up Fountains of Wayne out of your mind shows Stacey's Mom is memorable. It is one that people are going to be singing and remembering for a while still. I have it in my playlist still. Like, Stacey's Mom is probably one of the best one-hit wonder songs of all time. Top 5, maybe. Top 10. It's misogynistic and gross, but yet it's still a fun song, which is kind of contradictory and weird, but, songs are songs.
But a one-hit wonder in and of itself has to achieve mainstream success.
It did.
And
It was a
then
top 40 hit.
disappeared.
It was a top 40 hit and they vanished. So I think Shut Up and Dance was in the
Being
top
number
5
39
songs of
doesn't-
2014, 2015. I can't remember if it came out 2014, 2015, but it was one of the most successful singles of the year. But the thing is, it's not good. That Walk the Moon's not good. You won't find them again. You won't find that song again. I mean, you will, because you can find it probably anywhere. It's the internet. But it's not one we're going to talk about. It was one of your generic flash in the pan top 40 songs, where like Stacy's Mom, again, is going to be a punk rock staple. It's one of the top songs of the 2000s.
I think we have a different idea of what an actual one-hit wonder has to be.
One Hit Wonder has to have been on the top 40 and gotten a lot of like success in like streams and plays and downloads, and like people have had to have heard the song, and they did.
Exactly,
It was one of the top
and
3.
nobody's heard. I even
haven't heard the name
what
Walk the-
fuck song you were talking about.
Yes, they have. It was one of the top songs of the year if you looked it up. I mean, that was one of the top songs of the year. However, it's generic. Again, it's a generic pop song. And any pop song like that, like it's not. Walk the Moon's a generic one-hit wonder pop band with a generic one-hit wonder pop band name, whereas Fountains of Wayne, I kind of remember that name because it kind of sticks. Stacy's Mom is probably the wrong song and wrong one-hit wonder group to have picked, because that song is so
30
memorable.
seconds.
That song is so memorable, and we still listen to it today. Bowling alleys, car drives, radio. It's everywhere still in this. Like, we will not be forgetting Stacy's Mom anytime soon. Whereas Shut Up and Dance has been forgotten, and it's been 3 years.
Just 10 seconds. Something. That time.
All right.
Time.
All right. We will now give our contestants like 1 minute to close out their arguments. Jess, the floor is yours.
I believe my point still stands. This song has a terrible message. It was a hit for a little while, and the band did absolutely nothing with the success from this hit. That is the equivalent of a shitty one-hit wonder. I don't think you can even play the music video anymore without getting a hit on. Okay, why are you trying to hit on your friend's mom? Are you trying to get her to go to prison?
All right.
Let
and
Caleb talk.
That is time. Okay. Now over to Caleb.
The definition of a one-hit wonder is a song as a group that put out one song that was successful on the top 40 charts, or any I think top 40 charts for a substantial amount of time. Walk the Moon, Shut Up and Dance was one of the top songs of the year because of its substantial top 40 play. But the thing is, we're not talking about that song 3 years later now, because it was a generic top 40 song that got big in the spring, summer, I can't remember, and people listened to it for the year, and then it went away. Fountains of Wayne and Stacy's Mom is still being listened to a decade later. That's not the definition of a bad one-hit wonder. Yeah, the song might be bad, but message-wise, but that song is so, I'm not going to say well-composed, but it's well-created to be a top 40 hit, and it succeeds at that a decade later, where we're still talking about that song. We're still listening to that song. My generation is still playing Stacy's Mom. That is not a bad one-hit wonder. In fact, that's the definition of a good one-hit wonder, whereas Shut Up and Dance has been forgotten, and it's only been 3 years. It's been 12, 15 years since Stacy's Mom, and we're still listening to it today.
Time.
Interesting.
Battle of the weird power pop, maybe one-hit wonder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds
Okay.
like a great band, by the way.
Yeah.
I love Shut Up
Yeah,
and
they're
Dance.
actually
I
really
just
good.
completely acted my way through that.
So before I get to Lucas fact checks, I do want to add in a couple of my own. Shut Up and Dance debuted May 2015 in the Billboard charts, peaked at number 4, whereas Fountains of Wayne, Stacy's Mom was November 2003, and it peaked at number 21 on the Billboard charts. Fact checker Dan, Luca, anything? Anything to add?
No fact checks on this one. When we do my judging bit, I'll talk about some stuff. But nothing factually wrong.
Okay. All right. Yes.
Okay.
Since you
I think I amped you to go first, right?
yeah. Since you broke the tie, yeah. Well, you can go first.
Okay, so I think that the key thing here is that Caleb, I was supporting you for like the first three so hard. I have never seen someone dismantle their argument faster than Caleb did in his conclusion, which is like with the idea that the fact that Walk the Moon have been basically forgotten and Fountains of Wayne are still memorable is like somehow making Fountains of Wayne more of a one-hit, less of a one-hit wonder. Because, like as Jessica said, one-hit wonders need to have some sort of place in cultural consciousness, right? And the whole idea that like Walk the Moon even qualify as a one-hit wonder when they are completely out of cultural consciousness now is something that doesn't really work to me. To top onto that, the reasons that Caleb gave for Fountains of Wayne being good is that they're still being played and that they're still remembered. He didn't actually sort of big up the song or talk about the song being any good. So it felt like his argument was more towards like Fountains of Wayne being more of a one-hit wonder, more culturally conscious. Whereas Jess's point that I agree with is that one-hit wonders in general need to have some kind of lasting appeal, lasting effect, and lasting presence. And I think that Jess sort of attacking the legitimacy of Walk the Moon as a sort of wonder, regardless of how many hits they have, was really good. So I will go with Jess on this one, is basically what I'm saying. Because I think Jess had a really good point on like Walk the Moon aren't even really one-hit wonders because there's nothing wonderful about them.
Okay, interesting. Caleb, let's go to you next. I want to hear your thoughts.
Okay. As much as I'm not like a fan of the like whole semantics arguments, where it's like, oh, this isn't really a one-hit wonder. I think Jess kind of had a valid point with that. With like, I didn't even know what song Caleb was talking about. I got it like a halfway in. Like I remembered what song he was talking about. But yeah, so I think that was somewhat valid, even though it is kind of one of those semantics arguments. In terms of Stacy's mom, I think Jess had a good argument that it's based entirely on her body. It's not a good song. It's not a good message. It's not even particularly a good pop punk song, even though that they're. I wouldn't even call them a pop punk band other than just that song. But yeah, I agree. Like you had to, you know that song no matter what, like whether it's good or bad. Everybody's heard that song at least once, and they know it. I don't know about Walk the Moon, so I don't think that makes. So I think it's valid to say that they don't qualify as a one-hit wonder. They were just a came and went band.
They do. They were a one-hit wonder when they had one hit song, feature number 4.
Okay. But then going to things that Caleb said, he hit really hard that people still 100% know that song and are playing Stacey's mom and are playing it all the time today. That's very true. I think he got that. The fact that he brought up where they were on the Billboard was pretty big to me. I think that he made his case that they were a one-hit wonder, even though I don't know how valid that is because they didn't have any staying power.
One-hit wonder.
Said it's a bad name, forgettable name. That's agree. Going over my notes, I wrote so much that I can't really read it. Stacey's Mom is one of the most memorable songs of the 2000s. I agree. But I don't know if that makes it necessarily good. I think I got to give it to. I think I got to give it to Jess.
And your winner of the inaugural Jukebox Trivia Dance-Off, Jess Morgan, the Vicious Trollop.
2 hour wonder.
I agree with that. But
I was really torn on that one because, like, in terms
I was
of
100. Like, yeah, I was going back and forth.
yeah,
on
in terms
that,
of
like-
and I had to bring up "Shut Up and Dance" while it was going on just so I could hear it. But it was like the first 2 seconds, I'm like, okay, yeah, I've heard this one. It got played the fuck out of
Exactly.
like in Canada. It got played a lot. It was one of my brother's favorite tunes around the time, and it just got overplayed.
Huh?
The argument that I'm surprised that Jess didn't bring up, and I think would have made her more of a clear favorite, was that Stacey's Mom is getting played so much is because of, like, in terms of my neck of the woods, the bar scene, I guess, or the dance scene. There's a big wave of like 2K pop, 2K rock. So for me, like Stacey's Mom is like a huge like nostalgia kind of thing. That was a song that I grew up on, and like the only time that Sue and I go out, it's called indie pop night, but it's essentially just a 2000s pop rock dance, and it's just a big nostalgia fest. But yeah, I think Jess bringing up the lyrics and how they're like they don't really age well, and like even just kind of looking up Caleb's lyrics, "Shut Up and Dance," like they're okay, they're generic, like there's nothing really to them. But yeah, I think it would have edged with Jess the more that I think about it.
I think the nail in the coffin for Jess was that you can't even play the uncensored version of the music video anymore. But like people still listen to it all the time.
Yeah.
True.
Oh, by the way, Brooklyn, do you know what the actual worst one-hit wonder is? It's gonna be 1 Week by the Bare Naked Ladies.
Fuck you, fuck you, and the horse you rode in on. You're probably not wrong.
I feel like Caleb could have had that if he had brought up that song was like originally meant to be ironic, that they're not like they were parodying pop punk with that song. But he didn't say that, so I had to go with Jess.
Getting back
I
to
like both these bands.
A mini argument. Getting back to One Hit by Bare Naked Ladies. Bare Naked Ladies are on a one-hit wonder. They have a multitude of hits.
In Canada, sure.
Jane, Alcohol, Pinch Me, If I Had $1 Million. Even their new hits. Say What You Want, Silver Ball. There's a lot of them. I would actually go with "Whip My Hair Back and Forth" by fucking Will Smith.
My actual serious answer would be "Shock the Monkey" by Cold Tango featuring Ozzy.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So bad. Which is a cover of a Peter Gabriel song, and I love that Peter Gabriel.
Yeah. So Jess, I want to go to you. You pulled out the big W there. How do you feel? You're behind 2-1, but you got the last 2 there by the skin of your teeth.
But, well, I'm flabbergasted. I was expecting to be in and out of this in like half an hour, then go home, then go back, maybe take a nap. Well, I'm kind of surprised.
I could not have picked a better person to lose to. This is really fun. However, I don't feel good about how that last question went. That's the only one where I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that. If I had lost on the Ed Sheeran one, yeah, I've been okay with that. I'd have been okay if I lost on Ed Sheeran.
I was the only person. I was the only one who docked you the point on the semantics thing. So
Anyway, yeah, this was fun.
Yeah,
I don't get to debate music often. So.
Yeah, Caleb, you had a real stranglehold on that rapper one, and I think that's where your hip hop knowledge kind of factored in there.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh, definitely.
I most definitely am happy that I went controversial.
Yeah.
Because if you, I can argue Kendrick either way. It's
were
just
you bringing up Tekashi 69 as a good rapper or
as a bad rapper? He is one of the worst rappers to
trash.
exist in the history of the world. He has a giant 69 tattoo on his face, and he has rainbow hair and gold teeth. The worst rapper to exist.
He's also a pedophile.
He is. My thing with Kendrick Lamar is that I think he gets put on too high of a pedestal. He's good.
Caleb,
He's a
we're
good
on a live
rapper.
stream. Caleb, we're on a live stream.
I know, But I think he's a good rapper, but I think he gets put on too high of a pedestal because of the era that he's in, where there's not a lot of good rappers.
To Pimp a Butterfly is a classic.
It is. I'm not saying he's bad. I'm just saying the era that he's in, I think he gets a little too much credit because there's nothing competing with him.
So are we gonna?
All right, so that's the show.
No, that's my only thing that I wanted to say.
Thank you, Masha's hopping in there. The quick question that I had for everybody here, if we're to do this again, this would definitely be like a thing like in between seasons. Who would you, the panel, want to go up against individually? Luca, I'll start with you, and then I'll work my way down.
Shit, who would I want to go up against? I would want to take on. Okay, so I'm gonna chuck in a little speculation if I can.
Yep.
Not speculation, stipulation. I would like to take on Jeremy the Atom Adams in an all pre-2000s match. Possibly even like pre-1990 match. Because that would be fun as shit.
Would be very fun.
An all 80s match, maybe?
Not my strong suit. Be like 80s post-punk and stuff like that. But.
Yeah, there you go.
Mr. Goho, who would you want to go up against?
I want to go up against the person that I was supposed to go up against tonight. I still want to take on Chance in one of these things. And if we're doing stipulations, all hip-hop. I'll do an all hip-hop with Chance.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I still really want to face Chance. I do really want to do like a best rap album of all time, best rapper of all time. Like I'd do that, but I just want to fight Chance.
Yeah. Jess, who would you want to take on?
Oh God, I don't know. Because clearly my debating skills are better than my music knowledge skills. Like, God bless whoever I'm going up against in my music debut, because you're probably going to take the sumbitch.
Well, you are going up against I believe Robert Parker, as well as there's a mystery opponent that will be announced the day of. This person wishes to keep their identity as secrets.
Do I know this? Do I know who this person
is? Is it Nico Suave?
You know, Luca. Yeah, you know who this is.
Oh come on, Nico can't keep his mouth shut. We know.
Nico's the most theatrical person I know.
Yeah.
He's the most annoying theatrical person. I would fight Nico in anything.
God bless Nico. He shoots for the stars,
and misses every time.
I commend him for the attempts. Caleb Machedos, who would you want to compete in if we were to do this again?
Hunter Chambliss, because I know I would destroy him.
Poor Hunter.
In reality, who would be fun to have
you and Sean Sandberg.
Yeah, me and Sean would be a lot of fun. I was thinking like me and Sandy in all metal and or like power metal or something match would be a lot of fun. Yeah, either of those guys, Sean or Sandy, I think would be a lot of fun, and we'd like pull a lot of like kind of obscure like and fun metal bands. I think those would be good ones.
Yeah, I would personally like to take on either Sandy or Alex Warden in you guess it, all Canadian music debate.
Nickelback.
Fuck Nickelback and the Horse.
Okay, so
Nickelback is so good.
I need to bring this up because you'll fucking talk about Canadian music all the time. You've never mentioned Arcade Fire, and you've mentioned Rush like once, and you mentioned all these fucking weird like fucking bare naked ladies and
Tragically Hip
in fucking like caps
and freaking Nickelback
with, like, burlap on them or something. They're like the parody band. They're garbage.
Nickelback is the greatest Canadian band ever.
Yo, what?
No,
fight me,
Mile. No,
fight me.
No, Tragically Hip is the greatest Canadian band to ever exist.
No way.
Really?
No way.
Have you ever heard of Gordon Downey?
Yes, I have. No way.
Really?
We can do this off stream. Let's get to plugs. We can do this off stream.
All right. So for the cool,
we'll do it live.
All right. To our winner, the vicious trial of Jess Morgan. Where can the Jackson and Jills of the world find you? Because I guess we can't use jackoffs anymore.
Oh, it's fine. You can call me a jackoff. I'm sure Luca is. And speaking of Luca, you're going to be finding him and I scoring off in an IG matchup right here on Jack of All Trivia. And I would say you could find me on Full Metal Trivia, but I'm kind of waiting on somebody on this season 2 to get through so that somebody can challenge me for the belt.
Are you not playing until the title match?
I got a couple of call-outs, but that's it.
Fair enough.
Mr. Coho, where can the cool kids of the world find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Caleb Coho, tweeting my controversial opinions. My music blog, calebcohowrites.wordpress.com. On YouTube, I have all my music and film stuff, Caleb Coho. And if you like rap music, me and my group, The Forks, put out our debut album, Shoot for Teams, recently. It's on iTunes, Spotify, all the good stuff. And you can find me here being the king of Jack of all trivia, and I'm going to retire Mark Borch at the end of the month.
Quote, king, quote, retire. To our judges today, the Butcher, Luca, Hopeful, and Mound, where can the cool kids of the world find you?
Right, so let's get through this. It's going to all be quiz stuff. Tomorrow, you can see me beating the shit out of Jen Kemp in movie trivia. I say beating the shit. I'm actually terrified. Please help. You can find me facing up against Jen. April 23rd?
Yes, April 23rd. Yeah.
April 23rd, you can find me kicking the shit out of Chance Ellison in the Jukebox trivia finals. I can finally say that without it being a spoiler. And that one I'm less scared about. You can find myself and Greg Weinstein, Killer Chemistry, taking on Notorious Chance again, and Russell Howell in Worldwide Movie Games pretty soon. You can find me taking on in the singles in Worldwide Movie Games either Chris Doman or Lucas Schildbach. We'll see who that is soon. You can probably find me on Full Metal. You can find me doing Full Metal 5 this Friday. We're going to do top 5 horror movies released after 2000. That's going to be fun. Besides that, please stop sending me flowers and stuff. It's becoming really strange. I need my privacy, and as much as I love that you're showing me your love, the fact that they're unmarked means that I don't know who to send them back to because I don't want to pay for customs. So please, just give me some privacy. I know you love me, but leave me alone.
All right, Caleb,
You're not that famous. Calm down.
where can the cool kids of the world find you?
I'm glad you said cool kids and didn't go back to Jack and Jill's because I was going to be angry with you. Yeah, you can find me on Facebook at the Caleb Hansen or on Twitter at the Caleb Hansen. But I only ever retweet Jack of all trivia, so check that out on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Do all the like and subscribe stuff. If you're into bad punk music, you can check out my band, The Beta Waves. We're no good, but check us out anyways, because it's fun. Yeah. And make sure you guys check out all of the big events that we've got going on. I am so worried we're not even gonna pull them off. We got Faction Wars coming up this week. We've got the Arrowverse TV free for all thing coming up on Sunday. After that, then what else? A bunch of and then the IG event, the Infinity War celebration, which is going to be insane. We're talking up the gauntlet match, also the 3-way with Caleb, Mark, and RJ, and we're gonna possibly crown a new champion with Robert versus Chance.
It's gonna be Robert. Robert's gonna win.
This is an insane month. I am gonna possibly shoot myself before it ends.
Whoa.
It's crazy.
Speaking of Faction Wars, big up the Apocalypse, myself, Sean Sandberg, Mark Borich, Grant Gregory, and Mystery Guest.
Congrats, Sons of Apocalypse, for coming second place.
And last, but definitely not least, I am the Black Lantern Brooklyn Vale. You can find me here every Monday running the Jukebox trivia. And that was very fun. Catch us next week where we have the official kickoff of season 2. We have the Hurricane, Kane McMillan, taking on debuting Cosmic Night Fury and Nico Suave Ergoli. You can also find me on Saturdays on the Rewind, where we cover everything that is Jack of all trivia and the Schmodown. This Rewind this round coming up is going to be huge because we'll be doing a preview for Game of Factions, not Faction Wars like everybody's trying to call it, Game of Factions.
Faction Wars sounds way better.
As well as we did Faction Wars back in October and it was okay. As well as we're covering the free for all that's going on Friday for the actual Schmodown, which is going to be crazy. Like, comment, subscribe on YouTube, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can find me personally on Instagram at rookieb.10, all lowercase. You can find pictures of food or music or whatever the hell it is I'm doing that day. Yeah, find us on the Facebook page, and if you are interested in competing in a match, let us know, and we'll get you on a schedule as soon as we can. I believe we're scheduling into June, maybe July. We got a boom in the last month or so, and I want to thank you guys, the fans, for being so involved and so passionate. And it's the work that you guys put in and the commitment that you guys give us that helps the channel grow. So I think I can speak on behalf of the entire admin team. Thank you guys for all the stuff you do. So that is Mr. Mashed Potatoes. That is Mr. Strollop. That is the King. This is the Butcher. And I am the Black Lantern. Peace out. And as always, guys, drive safely.